I'm not sure. I think that works. I think that works. We have things working. Can you believe that? Do you believe that? It's crazy. Um, huh. Um, I hope you're good. I hope the weekend was good. If it was a weekend for you, I don't know. It depends on the person, depends on everything. But things have happened, I think, and I think I think things work. It's I mean to an extent. Stony, hi, what on it? How's you? How's everything? I mean, things work. No, but things work. That type of working. Uh, it's it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice, isn't it? Oh. God damn. Things are broken, but broken better. Does that work today? Yes, it works. Cool. The it depends on the day. Right this instant, this has had a bit of an update, which works. The main sync feature is working, which is what I wanted to have, and it's really good, and it works as intended. Meaning that when you launch the app for the first time, now, and you now have the sync feature in the background, it will just fetch everything, sync everything, send everything to the cloud, iCloud, and then it's stored there so that if you have sometimes someday, I don't know, you lose your phone, you delete your app for some reason, and then you reinstall the thing, and then you lost your progress, which is the current case. Right now, if you have a subscription, you will have the ability to restore and get back everything, which is exactly what I wanted in the beginning. However, it is still broken with one exception, which is the reset feature on the progress. Right now, for example, I have like the kana hiragana specifically like fully done, and the katakana are not done for testing purposes. And when I reset that progress value, everything goes back to 0, and I don't have anything to showcase here in terms of progress. That sync to put back the values to 0 don't work. And I don't know why. And I don't know why, which is fucking annoying. It should work, but it doesn't. Nonetheless, now we have in the profile view, you have right here, very simple, how can I call that? iCloud sync thingy, right? That tells you if you can sync, and if you have a subscription, it will be like this. If you don't have a subscription, if you will say, well, subscribe. And then if you tap on it, you have access to all of the data that is related to your profile and your progress and your things, meaning that you can see the things has been synced, which is really good. You can force a sync if you need to. You can do a diagnostic to check if something is not really working. Therefore, I can have some more information about what's working, what's not working, which is pretty good. But specifically, you can have like a bit of a breakdown of what is currently synced in terms of what you have on the app and what you don't have on the app. So for example, if I'm right here, I don't have much to sync or showcase, like everything is kind of synced properly. If I go on here and I decide to move on to the ya character, which is right here, and add it to the characters that have progress, and maybe the yo as well, so that we have like the whole band. Here now, in the comprehension in between my kana section, I know that I have 137 characters that are with progress data on my phone, but I only have 135 on CloudKit. This is not something that anyone would go and check. right? It's just in case if you are with multiple devices and you're like, well, I don't see the same progress on one side to the other, you can just see, oh yeah, this device specifically that I have more progress on doesn't have synced the data, and therefore you can tap the little blue arrow that goes up, or on the other one, the opposite. And now it's syncing specifically that zone, and it will refresh and have the whole thing technically done. But like that is working to an extent. Like right now, obviously, when I'm showcasing it, it doesn't work. Uh, which, it's the usual thing. But that's the basic. And now you have as well the background sync, which is as soon as the app is going into background, it's processing like a full sync. And then you can bring it back and process the sync again, and you should be good. But like that's the whole system. At least it should be the whole system. And apparently I have fucked up something, which is really good to know. But yeah, that's what I've been working on. And I reverted 3 times to get it. I mean, 12 times to make it work, but now it's working, which is really good. Which is really good. So progress. I guess progress. Good progress. But yeah, that took way longer than I wanted it to take, to be honest. Like it shouldn't. It shouldn't have. It should have been like way faster. And yeah, what is going on though? Why is it broken? That is the question. I don't know. This is a good question there. Good question. Just all that. So yeah, how is the weekend starting? How are things? Are things done? Are there be have them has there been progress on stuff? All that usual questions. Usual questions. What do you mean, don't ask? What you trying to build that you can't build? Hmm? Uh, Someone else, another video that I watched again, I talked about something that is pretty accurate to uh, me being able to do stuff on apps and you not being able to do stuff um, on web for an app, and also the way that I think doesn't work on the web and the way that you think doesn't work on an app. That was pretty interesting as well. Like the routing system on desktop and website and things is not the same as the routing system on an app native. So if you have like a mental model that is specific to web, you will have errors and issues with doing things in a way that makes sense. And if you only have, like me, like an app focus way of thinking for an app, it's kind of counterproductive on the web. So that's a good thing to know. That's limitation that I didn't really take into consideration again, and that might also be the reason why me with an AI is able to do stuff, just because the whole system is simpler. Maybe like native seems simpler, so you know might be something to take into consideration for the future, which is really good to know. Really good to know. We Not really, kinda, not really. Um, we are 30, not 30, I think 80 people away on YouTube to get to monetization territory, in terms of followers. And then I still need to get like a 3K views on at least one video for the year, which is, not good. But yeah, progress. All that. uh, my phone is dying. That's good. That's good. That's a good signal that the iPhone 17 is approaching. Uh, the charging port is having a hard time, and is a little bitch right now where I can move it down and it it charges and I release it. It charges and then I don't know why, but the matter is just rethinking up and then it doesn't charge. God damn, that happens. But it's fine. It's fine. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. I don't know. Unless Apple has decided or has decided. Yeah, see, I mean, you don't see, but I just touched the fucking cable and it unplugged from the computer. That's crazy. If Apple decides to do something crazy on the 17, I might buy the 17. But if they don't, I might just buy a 16. Because I mean, I need to charge the phone. So, Catherine, hi, welcome in. Welcome back. How are you? How's everything? Otherwise, this is really good. Like I'm biased because I've been on Android for the longest time, but even this one, which is kind of shit, or as a phone, I appreciate that. Thank you. It's good. It has some latency here and there, which I really don't like. Um, there are some times where the whole home screen is basically like resetting itself. Like if you've been on an app for a long time, the background process of the system has put the home screen in the background so that it doesn't really work. It's a weird thing. Yes, it's a Xiaomi 13 Pro, Redmi 13 Pro. Yes, that's the name, I think. Let me check. Let me make sure. I think I'm right, but yes, Note 13 Pro, which is really good so far. It's really cheap. It's like $260 for this one, and it's nice. It's not as good as the other one, which is from 2017, but Kane, hi, Chris, hi, welcome on in, both of you. How are you? How was the weekend? All day. Yeah, it's the Note one. Right now, I am looking at the. I don't think it's gonna be available on the French version. There is the 13T from Oppo that has been announced. um, which is brand new right now, just dropped, and it's really good looking. I like it a lot, obviously. Fully biased on this one, but it's not even. Yeah, I mean, it's not even there. People don't even have access to this. Like, it's an iPhone from Oppo, which is really good. Um, so that's the thing. That's the thing. And if you haven't seen, if you remember last week I told you it's interesting to have access to a Chinese app, a Chinese social media app, where I have the feed giving me things that are like basically before it's the official releases, as in the OnePlus or the Oppo 13T, which basically I'm mixing the two because it's the same company. I've seen that last week, and then today we have received this, which is exactly the shot that I showed you last week. That thing saying that if that was the design that we would go to with CMF, we could go there as well, because it's really cool looking. But yeah, same thing. 1 week ahead of release day, I had the preview and the content of what would be released basically today. So that's pretty interesting for me to, again, have like an early access and knowing which platforms are like basically releasing some things in advance. Why did I click? I don't know. Nonetheless, this one is really cool. I like the design of like their duotone design that they are doing for the new back. It's the same thing. I don't know if it's the same um, screw placements. I would need to check like and compare both of these. But yeah, and Kane, the Figma bootcamp has been published on Patreon for the past 2.5 weeks now. It's just slowly getting out. Every Wednesday, you have a new video about one feature of Figma. There is 9 videos in total, and if you are part of the Patreon members, you have access to the Figma files, which gives you, I mean, on the first one, um, you don't really have access to any Figma file. Technically, there is nothing there, like no existing, how can I say that? No existing exercise on the O1 because it's mainly like just explanation of the UI and how it works. So, like that's the first thing. But then for the other ones, like Figma Fall, which is the second video that is on the Patreon, you have access to where things are, what we're talking about, and then a bit of an exercise based on what we talked about during the video, and like a bit of an exercise that you can just practice and do things. Uh, but it's good to have like a bit of an incentive on my side to, you know, get you to get the Patreon. But yeah, yeah. I did the exact same thing. I think I talked about it in the past, where basically my Figma bootcamp thing, same thing as the like icon creation course that I did. I have the whole scripts, I have the whole thing. I might just record the videos that I need to record because now it seems I got started. So I might. It's a very intensive. What are icons? How are they used? All of that, but not really a hands-on course. It's mostly like a data-related course, um, just to help you understand what icons are and what they do, how they're used, whatever. But I have all that done. I also have like a whole Figma bootcamp done like prior to that, like basically 2 years ago. And yeah, like this one has been edited a year ago. So I have stuff. Yes, I agree. I agree. But yeah, also Godwin, yes, there is so many brands for phones specifically. On the Android side of things, there is so much stuff that is good and so much stuff that is shit that I don't I don't really have anything to recommend to anyone. Like on the iPhone side of things, for my use cases, anything that is under the Pro is going to be okay, but not good. Anything that is on the SE side is going to be shit for me. But everything that is on the Pro section is going to be too expensive for most people. So I do understand that. And it doesn't seem like they are going to be like reducing the prices, for obvious reasons. just obvious reasons. But yeah, that like on Android, I love Oppo because it's one of the main brand in China. Oppo is like the main company that has Vivo, whatever, OnePlus, two other brands as well that are like the same companies, and Xiaomi, I love them as well because same thing. Um, like Xiaomi has the Xiaomi, Redmi, Poco. There is another one that I forgot. God damn it! There is a fourth one. Nonetheless, that these are really good. And the phone that I have in Japan is an Oppo phone. The phone that I have here are Xiaomi phones for Android testers, and then my daily driver is my iPhone. So that any Chinese brand phone is gonna have like a beauty filter that is built in. However, any phone that is in Asia has a built-in beauty filter. As in, if I open TikTok in Japan, I have a beauty filter on the app. If I open TikTok in France on my iPhone, same phone, I don't have the beauty filter on the app. So this is mostly like a region lock stuff, uh, not necessarily like a phone manufacturer stuff. So like here, the default for the Xiaomi 13 Note 13 Pro photo app doesn't really have the beauty filter, not by default at least. And you know, yeah, no, not by default. I can turn it on, but it's not that good. I mean, also looking at it like this, not that good, nonetheless. But yeah, it's mostly like an Asian thing. Asian cameras, East Asian cameras have something. And Kate, yes, you should. Yes, you should. Specifically, if you do it in Argentinian, not in not in Spanish or Portuguese, like in Argentinian. Like if you have specific things, specific way of speaking that are proper to Argentina, I would say it would be better. It is limited, right? Obviously, you are targeting a very small amount of people that are like the Argentinian designers that are using Figma. So that's limiting your scope and your reach. But I think it would be really good. Like the initial thing that I did, the first Figma bootcamp that I recorded when I was in Japan, because yes, I did that. I did a full recording of everything in Figma, and it was like a 1 hour, 20 minutes recording. So chopped up, it was chopped down to like 35 to 40 minutes of everything you need to know about Figma. And that was basically a knowledge dump of everything that I knew. And then I kind of started to edit the thing, and then Figma dropped to UI 3. And and yeah, that happened. So didn't release the thing because I got the exact same thing as Matt. Matt Smith did the exact same stuff, released Shift Nudge Figma for free with the whole knowledge base on how Figma works, what is the content, how to do stuff. And then basically a month later, fuck off. The UI is not the same anymore, and the content is not the same anymore, and it doesn't work the same way. Yeah. So that's why this time I kind of asked internally in Figma, and I said, if I start recording a bootcamp right now, am I going to be fucked next week? Or are we good? And they said, we good. So I'm like, okay. They said, however, this is probably going to change. And while I was basically recording, I think episode 3 or 4 of the bootcamp, which is basically the style and variables. I think it's on this one. I forgot exactly. No, it's not the style and variable. It's the handoff one, which is like more later, like episode 7. They released measure and notes for dev modes. So now I had to introduce that. So basically, I record the thing in the morning, and then they released it, and I re-record the video in the evening. Good job. That pisses me off. But I get it. I get it. You want to make improvements to your app and your project and your product, and that makes sense. There is someone that has been releasing and showcasing stuff um, related to what we talked about last week, or last week. Let me see if I can find her. Jane has been basically dropping everything. It's all day long. So this is the new Figma website that we've talked about that wasn't really available, and now uh, I didn't talk about it, but Jane has released screenshots, and she's released like a ton of things, including the potential, we don't know yet, but potential AI-based designer. So you would have like a simple text input, and that would be like powered with Cloud, which is really good. Um, and yeah, that might happen. I don't know. Yeah. Also, that thing, I mean, this one, yes, but also this one. Um, yes and no, but yes. It is basically what I said, which is because Figma has acquired uh, the other one that we talked about many times, this one, the dinner board, I always forget the name. They have something that is probably dev mode adjacent in terms of the name, and because this is really dev related, it makes sense to have the copyright and the trademarks on the, but it's also a bit of a dick move overall. So that's a good thing. But yeah, all of that has been like kind of published and previewed. There is apparently a new thing that is potentially going to be a grid mode for Figma, which I don't like. I think this is kind of weird, but also this is some of the thing that I had knowledge of. So we'll see. We'll see how the implementation works, and if it's good or not good. But yeah, so far that's the only thing we've learned, and yeah, there might be an AI assistant inside of Figma directly, which would remove a lot of plugins that currently exist that are using either Gemini or Claude direct or ChatGPT directly inside of Figma to create things. But yeah, um, good job. Congrats. Congrats. You did good. Good job, Chris. That's good news. That is good news. But yeah, there is like all of these things, these tiny things. Um, so yeah, it seems, it seems that the whole website builder things um, is going to be the same as Framer, the same as Webflow. So I'm really guessing that if if um, Figma has the ability, this is something that I said before, if Figma has the ability to create something that is as good as Framer at a minimum, um, I think a lot of people are gonna move away from Framer and Webflow just because we have the ability to do everything inside of Figma, and that would be potentially good. However, going back to the Adobe discussion that we had some months ago now, the reason why Adobe didn't have the ability to acquire Figma in the first place is because it was a monopoly discussion, meaning that they had like a monopoly on any design tool already, and acquiring Figma was basically saying, well, we don't want to compete, and therefore we're just gonna acquire the smaller brand and just be done with it. And the EU and other like competition thing, whatever, um, came along and said that that's no good. If Figma released this, this is probably anti or pro monopoly of the market of design currently. So I don't know how that's gonna look or work in the long term. Um, but yeah, that's a good thing to know. That is a good thing to know. Let me check the thing that you sent. Also, yeah, you sent me a message on. Also, you sent me a Facebook thing. Oh, that's a weird thing. Sorry, I just. Which one is it? These two, I'm following them on TikTok. So yeah. Um. Interesting choice. Interesting choice. I still see the same fucking owl. Not a like it's still there. The owl is there. Um, I like it like this. You don't have the same black on both sides, which is kind of sad. And you make them skinnier based on what we had on my side. This is an interesting take. I do like it. Um, it's a better G overall, but yeah, it's nice. It is nice. Well, if you want to not read big ink, because right there, but we still see that this is not enough of a contrast in between the two. I look at it and I'm like, oh, that's a mistake. That's yeah, that's a color mistake. No, that's two different words. Specifically with the red O, that yeah. That's interesting. It works. It's still, I'm skeptical, you know. I mean, you know me now. Isn't that I have questions. Are we the same width on both sides? No. Yeah, that's what I thought. You're 2 pixels slimmer on the K and 3 pixels slimmer on the N, 4 pixels slimmer on the N. God damn. Hmm. Oh, technically the B is roughly 3. Um, hmm. You know, you know. Uh, that's interesting. At least to me, that is really interesting. You know, details. Uh, Basically, the I are a bit thicker, and the G is a bit thicker as well. Like it's not exactly that much thicker, but it looks thicker. But it is, yes. Like you probably are 20 or 19 something, whereas here you are 21. So 19 would give you this. Not much of a difference, to be honest, but it feels slimmer on the oink side than on the big side, which is good, right? Big can be bold, and this could be regular. I'm trying to find like a, you know, a designer bullshit to give you. I would probably give you the end to be a tad bit thicker, just not much, but something, because it really looks like it's much more like skinnier than the G. And then the K is okay. It's mostly like the oblique diagonal lines that are really, really slim. And the reason being, like, this is the same side on or the same thickness as this, but because you slanted it, it looks slimmer. So yeah. Maybe, yeah. Just just a smidge. Just a smidge. But overall it's really good. That G is interesting. It feels it still feels like the fucking owl, so yeah. Prosto, hi, how are you? Who are you? How did you find the stream? Welcome on in, thanks a lot for chatting, I appreciate it. Interesting emotes, if I do say so myself. This is a cute ass rock attack. Appreciate that. You know, the owl is really it's the what's the fucking name? It's not TripAdvisor. Dapsy, hi, welcome on in. Welcome back. How are you? How have you been? How was the weekend? Well, welcome in. Here we do some design stuff. We touch code from time to time, but I can't do shit, so you know. But yeah, if you have design questions, feel free to ask, as always. It's the I think it's TripAdvisor, but it's not TripAdvisor, which, you know, doesn't work. But like that, no, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. You know, that probably because of this section right there with the eyebrows. So, potentially simple. Oh, I'm seeing details that just don't work. God damn. You see this? You see this? There is like 2 pixels of a distance that needs to be to the right, just to make sense. Just to make sense. God damn. One day people would be okay with this. Look at it. Yeah, dang. If it was just, I mean, even here we have a half pixel, which is really bad. But if we had, again, similar thing, the spacing, which is outside, red, that we can see things, as soon as I touch the out here, I have like 2 pixels of a difference. Ah! it's how can people not see this? Because it's 2 points. 2 points out of a different. Just 2 points. I get it. I know why. The main reason is here. Like, this icon needs to be a bit more inside, and you know, therefore you need to have like the same padding on both sides. I get it. Anyways, so yeah, Chris, that's I think that's the TripAdvisor thing that gives me like that G thing, and then because it gives me that under eye bag of the original Duolingo logo, the first one, like this, to me is kind of similar, at least. Like there is that thing, that owl, that is just to me very very visible in that department because of the detail on the side that is the eyelashes, I guess, of the owl. So yeah. Um yeah, good job on Chinchu's sides then to get that to work. But yeah, there is like so many faces that has like the face paints, and face paint underneath the eye are going to be like this for their logos. That's usually the case. That's why also I can see that often. But also you have like eye, and then eye in the center that is the nose, so that doesn't help in any way, case, shape, or form. But yeah, that's the original original right there. That thing. Look at it. Look at it. No one saw this. Um, I started using the app, I think, here or in 2013. So, yeah, it's been a while. But also, you can see that these, in the beginning, like very, very much beginning in 2010, they had like a very basic, simple Amazon-like logo. Um, and it worked. So, why not do that? Why not just use that? But yeah, that owl shape. Um, that's a good question. I don't really remember if in the beginning it had multiple languages or just one. I have a feeling that it was simply English in the beginning. Um, but I don't know. That's a good question. It's probably because of the bilingual, like learning a second language. Most people are not going to sorry, most people in some countries are not going to learn a secondary language anyways. So going into bilingual is pretty good. Yeah, details and stuff. But yeah, no, nonetheless, that doesn't change shit. You did good. Shinshiro and you did good together to this. That I would potentially just say the N and the bars of the K, like the diagonals of the K, to be a teeny tiny bit thicker, just to match the rest of the weight, like visual weight. Or if you want to do the opposite, um, getting the second eye to be a tad slimmer, which might be like easier to do, um, to get this. Um, yeah, no, no, most people will not notice that, but if you just have something that is more visually balanced, at the end of the day, it's just a tiny thing. What is it called? Big oink? That's a question for Chris. At the, um, not a question for me. Not a question for me. I don't know. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's a good thing. You can have like as I said, the big could be in bold and the oink could be in like a bit of a smaller, more regular font, just to have like the difference. Could work. But yeah, that's something that we still haven't touched on because I haven't received the go for it for the past client. which had like the delivery date yesterday, and yeah, we'll see what they say. Nonetheless, Kane, going back to this, um, that might happen. I don't know when. I will see, but I have a lot of doubts in Figma's ability to generate something that is good. Um, I am fearful again. God damn, that thing is broken at best. Can you still uh, do that and stay there? Thank you. It would be highly appreciated. Sorry. The main reason for me is that I fear that they will do something similar to Galileo and therefore have something that is mostly like uh, redundant. If someone is asking something that is kind of the same, it's gonna resemble, and I don't know. Um, yeah, I don't think Modify is gonna be integrated just yet, mainly because it has been announced 2 weeks ago, last week. But again, as I said last week, since they haven't posted since 2024, I can potentially bet that they have been acquired before, but they just didn't like really uh, finalize the acquisition, and they still have been working together. I don't know. I don't know. So maybe they will receive like give something out, but I have doubts. Their AI in the beginning, like their first version of the AI to generate pages were pretty good, but they were also really repetitive and really similar to the UI kits that they use as a base. So, with work. And he was also on Brett supposedly stealing design lately in his defense on Figma. No, I seen Ilya said something about it earlier today, but I didn't see anything related to what the drama was about this week on that specific drama. I don't know. I haven't seen the design that was supposedly stolen. I haven't seen anything. I mean, I'm not really using Twitter anymore. Um, I did use it, but I don't know. I don't care either. Um, I don't mind if the designer, other person is lying, not lying. If they found a way to make money and it works for them, I'm fine with it. If it's through stealing other people's work, that's not good. But if it still works for them and they still have a good conscience and overall they can sleep, but why do I care? It's not me. But that. So yeah. And yeah, so Modify and Dina board thingy, like they both have been acquired in 2024. One in the beginning, February, and one in the end, officially announced in 2025. So that's not enough time, at least from my point of view, for Figma to spin up something. But I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Um, Nonetheless, I have saved some things. Again, as I said, there is like the grid thing that is popping up. Uh, More icons from Dimitri, which is pretty good. That thing has popped on my feed, and it seems to be a Figma plugin that would animate your vectors using AI. So I don't know if that's good. I don't know if it's easy. I haven't tried it, but it's interesting. Interesting thing. This preview is really simple. There is probably like a lot of other thing that could happen, to make things better, like shit like this that seems to be a bit more complex, but still really simple transition, simple animation, It's really good for me for icons, but other than that, I don't know how good it is. We'll need to try that at some point. Probably not today. There has been this, which I don't know if it's entirely true or not. So, Mr. Biscuit said Figma just quietly shipped parametric component props. And as some people have mentioned, in the comments, I forgot where it is. Someone said that it had been introduced since modes existed in Viables. However, that video that they shared here is a good presentation of what could be basically a marketing video for the plugin that they are building. The whole thing, for me, from my point of view, is a marketing video. And it's a great marketing video. Not directly, but kind of directly. They are showcasing the fact that if you have like a ton of components and you have like a ton of props and properties to have like your sizes, your font sizes, your padding, all of that, it's not efficient, but you are still obligated to use that. And they have created like a new plugin that is called Viable Visualizer. That is basically a node-based navigation system to link props and Viable together. This thing right there, look at it. It's great. It looks amazing. It seems to work really well. There is probably like not a beta period or something, but it's kind of new. I don't know if there will be like a payment system inside. There is no mention of that in there. But it is on paper really, really good. And on the video itself that we're currently watching, it looks really good. So right now they are just showcasing how it works and how like the labels, the colors, the things that are like properties and variables are linked to the components themselves. But then they decide to go through the whole system of creating like a new viable group. Nope, collection is the word. Through that whole system. So their plugin, which is again a node-based editor, works exactly with or in parallel with the creation of variables and variable collections through Figma directly. So they are creating something here and then have the variables inside, and then they can just log and link each of the properties of the component to the property that they have here in like basically click and drag. The whole thing, the whole presentation that they have is a very, very good visual representation of how things should work for a node-based editor. And it works so well that we might have to do that. Like this section right here, where they have the component that they have selected, like this is the thing that is currently selected, has a lot of properties. And the stroke is linked to the stroke property. The fill is going to be linked to the fill property. And now they have like the horizontal padding. They want to link this thing to the padding horizontal and vertical. So this one is going to be linked here. This one is going to be linked here. It makes so much sense. It is really good looking here. The only thing that I don't like, personally speaking, is that the view is a bit big. Like it takes a lot of space, and therefore you don't have a lot of view on the Canva itself. You don't really need to. But for someone like me, and I'm guessing for the video recording, it's kind of the same thing, where you just have like one single monitor when you're working, which is the laptop monitor, which is really tiny. You end up with not much space to work in the node editor and in the Canva at the same time. That's the only thing that I'm kind of complaining about. It's not really a complaint, but it's really, really good to see how it works. Like having like that node editing and linking that easy is, I mean, it's really good to me. It's really good. But then once you have this and you have like your modes and your things, you can just change stuff, and these buttons are going to be reacting to the viable collections that you have selected and that have like different modes. So that's really nice, at least for me. So yeah, like that whole thing is a really interesting thing. And again, as I said, it feels like the video, even though it takes something that I feel like we have talked about it before, and as some other people on Twitter has been saying, seems like something that already existed before. It's mainly used as a marketing content for the plugin, which is really good. So I could recommend it. I need to test it out. We need to test it out. We need to work on that at some point. But yeah, we'll do that a bit later today, I think. Nonetheless, that's new. It's interesting, and I feel like this is gonna probably change the way that we are building and using variables in the long term. That's for something else. I saw that earlier today. That's really cute. I don't think it's practical. I also think they fucked up. But it's nice. They fucked up because that loop is inside and not going like looping through like a, you know, one of these. So that should be higher. That's it. That's the only thing that's fucked about this one. This was for Chris, specifically for the glowing glass button. This one is really simple. It is the same thing that we've done 3 weeks ago with like the edges and the transparency, but then the content or the color inside of the button itself is simply a bit of a gradient, radial gradient here and here that slide in when you hover the button. Then you could have the same thing on the shadow, but that would be a bit more complex. But you could, but it's a bit more annoying. That's a nice. That is a useless transition, but it's a nice transition. So I just kept it for no apparent reason. And then that person, Ming, has created something that they called Swift Glass 1.0, which is like a GitHub package to create and manage glass on iOS, which is interesting to me because iOS is known to have glass system, and therefore I feel like this is useless. So I will need to check it out and see if the implementation that they have is better. It probably is. Then the native iOS glass, but I have a lot of doubts. We'll see. We will see. That's for a bit later. If I remember correctly, that person specifically have been also creating or talking about the native wind, which is Tailwind for native apps. So Tailwind for Swift UI, for example. That's an interesting thing. This popped up on my feed as well today, which is like an interesting curved top for a bottom sheet. It's interesting. I don't know exactly how they figured out how to make this, but it's interesting. I like it. It could be just a PNG SVG at the top, but you know, it looks interesting. Nonetheless, as always, ferrets always win. That never change. And I think that's about it. This is for something else. These are really popular for reasons. They're pretty good. Um, I'm just taking a look at them in the sense that these are a good design pattern, image, title, like category, title, subtitle, or description, button, gradient below to get like the transition. But it's also like not necessarily the best thing for accessibility. So here, for example, if that image was a tad less contrasty, reading the text would be really, really annoying. So that's something to take into consideration when you're building these. They are really popular right now, so obviously go for it, but you know, be careful with accessibility as always. And then that popped in. Um, and I think it would be a great addition with the GitHub package that we talked about 2 months ago. I know it's been a while, but this thing has like basically the way that it works is the center is going to be as pure black as it can be, and the sheet, the paper, the background is an off-white by an inch of nothing. Like it's a bit more yellow or a bit more gray or a bit more something. Therefore, this looks like it's more shiny. What I'm saying is because of the HDR, like force HDR package that we've seen again 2 to 3 months ago on iOS specifically, that define elements to be using HDR to basically have peak brightness that is higher than the rest of the screen in your app. You can have like a button that is shiny or more shiny because that specific thing is gonna have the maximum amount of nits possible because it's in HDR. This would be a great addition for this package specifically to have like that sphere glow brighter than expected using HDR or HDR on the screen. You know, details makes it all different. And then this is cute, but you know, I don't think you can read that. But it's a cute handwriting or uh, string writing, I guess. So yeah, all that. That's for Twitter and most of the thing that I've seen today. Again, there is like a ton of other things, as Chris said earlier. There is a ton of things with Brett. I don't know. I don't know. Haven't seen anything, and yeah, I've seen other things that are really like that. Um, there's not much, to be honest. That looks cool though. That is neat. Anyways, details and stuff. But yeah, I think we should take a look at the Viable visualizer because it's pretty good. I think, personally speaking, I think it's pretty good. But I don't know what we can do with it. I don't know what we can do with it. I'm going back into chat. I feel like I missed some message earlier. You know, nothing more than this. Safety first. You can't see this screen. You know, for reasons, lots of reasons. I wish I could like central click to get access to things in other pages. It makes a lot more sense. Let me see. Can I see this? No. 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 Yeah. That's not. I want to buy these. Chinese stuff again. If you don't know what that is, that doesn't make any sense to you. Um, but these are the wall plugs adapter thingy. It's a bit weird. You basically have a slit in the wall, and then you can take one of these and you can take it off, take it in, and it changes the amount of plugs that you have in any given lines, basically. So you could have like 8 options, 8 entries, 8 like multi-plugs basically on one thing, and then if you just need one and you don't need the rest, you can just plug it out, which is really cool. The reason why it's really cool is because you can have like a ton of adapters. You can have one that is just for like a regular power outlet, something that is just USB, something that is just USB-C, something that's magnetic, like an iPhone charger type of thing. It's pretty nice. It is pretty nice. We do like it. We do like it. But you know, it's not really unsafe. Not really. It's not unsafe, which is really good. Personal bias, as always. It's the same thing as these. I wish I could have these in my house. I can't. Like it's I will go back. It's one of these switches that also have the home panel control for your whole house, and it's really nice. It's pretty nice. I already have these basically, like similar, like same brand, similar how like switches, but without the screen. The only reason why I don't have the screen is because the screen is only in Chinese and I can't read. One day I will. One day I will. There, right there. That's the thing. That's the thing. Oh, that's bad. I see. I see. I see. What do you want to see about the outlet? You want to look for it. How does it work? It's basically as if you had a multi-plug. The back of, I wish I had like the full name, but it's not. It's not in English. It's one of the Simmons, obviously, right here. But that's not what I'm looking for. Yeah. I can't find it. Dang. Come on, get the fuck out of the way. No, you don't want to get the fuck out of the way? Okay, cool. I wish we had like more. And we don't. Like, this bitch needs to get out. Thank you. Do they have a fucking website like this? Is this an option? It's not an option. Huh? I don't think I'm gonna find it here. Not in there. Like, there is probably not an option. But yeah, basically what it is these plugs, these plugs here have a slit in the back that allows the user to put them wherever they want on the line, and therefore you can have as many as I think 10 and as little as just one. So basically it's the same thing as a multi-plug. It's just that it has multiple zones or one bar of zones. It's the same thing. Um, it's not a fire hazard at at all. It's the same thing as a multi-outlet. Like you can think of these things as plugs. Um, but yeah, there is plenty like in China specifically, and also in like the uh in schools and universities in China that I've seen, they have this on the sitting where in front of everyone there is like basically that, which is as if, like from what I understand, each of the slits give you the ability to plug whatever like outlet you want. And yeah, like that's the concept. And it's pretty good. Again, biased. Um, but yeah, like that. Safe. I wish there was like one that gave us like a bit of a better view of the plugs themselves. Um, but I can't. I can't find one. Right there. That's basically plugged on this one specifically. So you have this at the back of that, and that just plugs in the track, takes power. Um, Probably the top is positive, the bottom is negative. Therefore, when you plug it in, it just works. But then again, not an expert, but I just love these. I love the concept of these. I love the design of these. I don't like that. I've seen similar concept work with regular plugs. Um, like just basically having the option to plug on your regular outlet wherever you want on the strip without having to get one of these. So I don't know how that works, but that's an option as well. Apparently they are on Amazon as well. Interesting. One of the things that I have currently, like my Chinese plug, which is for the colored line that is behind me, uh, they have these plugs which are more than universal. Like the circular holes are the one that I'm using most of the days. The straight one are the American plugs, but they're also the Japanese plug. And the three are the Chinese plugs. Um, and yeah, it's just, it's really interesting. Yeah, there is no ground. Do I care? No. Will I die? Yes. Um, it's fine by me. I don't, I don't mind. Um, but yeah, like these outlets are much better than these ones. Just because we have, like again, my vacuum cleaner is, I mean, everything that I have is Xiaomi based. So most of my outlets, most of my stuff are like Chinese or Japanese outlets, which is similar to the US based, right? These two prongs, the flat ones. Um, so these are good for Korea, Japan, China, France, Italy, I think Italy is a bit more tight in terms of the circular prongs, and US and Canada, they just don't work for UK. UK is just a bitch, and they have the need for this one, which is like such a massive thing. Nonetheless, really cool. Anyways, that was the point. You can put that in, and you just have like a charger. That's your charger. Anywho, that is good. Let me see if I can go into the other thing that I had in mind, if I can find it again. There has been, again, that thing that I showcased earlier, the OnePlus 13T. Same thing, that in my feed before it was officially announced, and that person has it in the box. Like, that's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Can I find the last one? I can't. I cannot. I want to learn how to do this. I mean, this is basically what I learned to do in school, but I want to potentially go back into motion design and transitions and things that they have. Like, for example, these are really simple. It's just like pre-comps and things, and everything works together. But also that logo is really cool. You know, it makes sense. So, anyways, detail and stuff. So, if we try today, because of officially today's Learn Day, we kind of need to go over the association of our variables and our buttons and things. Again, the amount of buttons that I have here is limited compared to what you would have based on what Mr. Biscuit has showcased, but you know, let's see. Let's see how it works. Let's see if it. Sorry. Okay, these are my variables. I think I have a small amount of variables. God damn. God damn. Yeah, that's a lot. That is a lot. God. Okay. Oh, I can search things. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna see if when I select something, what do I have access to? I have access to this. I can see that it has a very specific scale. And I could, I'm guessing, if I'm taking the component itself, it is linked to the fill, the stroke, and the corners, but not the width, not the height, not the opacity. It's good to know. And stroke width might not be necessary. It could. It's just one. There is no real changes anyways, and I don't think so. I don't think we have effects. Yep. And we don't really have paddings specific because these are squared. So we may have something that is based at 60 Like a scale 60 or something that output 60 could work. Yeah, basically adapting the scale 16 to go here, but that would give us 64 instead of 60. So that's probably the reason why I didn't apply them by default. But I get it. Like thinking about it, this is like 16 height, and I could just make them 64 instead of 60 to be easier. But because they are simpler, um, like that, in different modes, rather than having, that is the reason. I remember because it's been a while. I now remember the reason why we don't have modes for sizes, which is what we wanted to do in the beginning, and what Louis said wasn't a good idea. Louis is the design advocate at Figma, and when I asked him directly, he basically said, "Well, having viable modes for sizes is not really recommended. It's mostly for light mode and dark mode and other things, like you have a different font size or different font type for different mode, for different feel of your app, you would have a mode, but not necessarily for sizes. And also we are limited to 4 sizes per mode, which resulted in me having to do shit like this. In primitive, I have dark mode and light mode, but then if I go into accent color, I have accents, communication, gray, and violets. And my communication is sending to communication, which already has 4 modes. And then gray also has 4 modes. And I can't get a 5th one. If I could get a 5th one, either with a plugin or something, I would. But that is limited by Figma. I can't do that. So the system that Mr. Biscuit basically introduced is something that we wanted to do in the beginning. I think we may have done that for the badges, just because we have less. Like we just have 3 sizes overall, and that may have been something that we had linked, but apparently we didn't. It's been a while. It's been a while. But yeah, like the same thing here. Like for example, I could have one primary, one other colors, and my other colors has like blue, indigo, purple, pink, and then another for communication. And these would be viable modes potentials. For me, I know that my primary also contains communication and also contains gray. So I wouldn't need 3 of them, but I would still need pink, purple, indigo, and blue, which is way more than what the modes give us. Also, Chris, I can't teach you how to boogie. That's not option. That is not a thing. Turbo variables. I haven't. No. What does it do? I clicked on it, I launched it, but I didn't really pay attention to anything. Um, that song is slapping hard. That's what I'm gonna say. I also see that most of the things that I have done here are not really good. I know, I know, I know. Oh, you basically select something and then you apply directly by saying like, I want this on the fill, I want this on the stroke. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That could help. That could help. However, we already have stuff defined as in component menu option, whatever, probably label, and then label color, label on hover, label on active, active in hover, or disabled. So, in the video that I didn't, I mean, I shared earlier, but I didn't like fully go through the entire thing. They go over creating a very specific viable collection with 2 modes. Let's see if we can just use that to create a new thing, a new something. So what they say is you add a new collection. That new collection, I'm gonna put it back. The mode is gonna be true and false. Very simple. Mode true and in mode false. Can I type? Yes. And in that new collection, right here, what they did, they renamed the thing. Yes, is disable. They called it disable. Disabled, and then in there you add a new, not a new mode, like a new variable in there. And that variable was a number. Oh yeah, that is true. Thank you. Can I type? Thank you. That new variable here is just disable. The disable. God damn it. Disable true is going to be at 0, or probably going to be at like, my stuff is 24% in opacity, and false is 100%. Usually what we do. And default, we want false to be up. I don't think I can do that. I guess I'm gonna need to put that up. Yeah, false first. It's not when someone is watching for me. It's just I can't type, so you know, that doesn't help. That doesn't help. And so what they said for this specific was, when you get a button, let's use our button. I don't even know if I can do that. I have a lot of doubts here. I don't think that's a good idea. Cybersect, hi, welcome on in. So if I get this, and I'm getting my variant here, and I'm taking the opacity right there, and I'm plugging it to this thing, this is gonna be plugged to the opacity itself, which is by default at 100% right here. What that means is, now that I have this element there, if we decided for some reason that this thing had a viable mode appearance of disabled, and then I'm like letting it to false, which is the default, when we wanted it to be this button is disabled, we can just do that, put it to true, and that puts the entire component at 24% opacity, rather than having to create a new variation here that would be the exact same thing. So that is interesting to me. However, based on how that is, I have a feeling that the linking one by one might be a tad bit annoying and complex to basically master, to have like the entire thing done. If I can't, like, you know, take this whole system of my button being something, because I feel like this is the variant groups and not the component subsidiary things, if that makes any sense. So, yeah, it might not be the best for me right there, but it's interesting. It's a good potential system. Nonetheless, the Viable Visualizer is really good, and the links in between things to me is really nice. Like to just have the ability to navigate and see, well, oh, this thing is really linked to something, this thing is not really linked to anything much. I like that. I like that concept. So I'll probably use it in a project that is not that deep. Because this one is already deep in terms of the build. Like we have most, if not all, of the things that are already done. And with turbo variable thing that you just shared, I feel like it would be easier to just select the thing that you need to have, and then you click on one stuff to say, well, that's the field that needs to happen. But again, the variables here are already assigned. So yeah, the only practice that I really personally need is variable instead of prototypes to make sure that it makes sense. Canna, hi, welcome in, welcome back. How are you? But again, this is faster and better. And I'm sad to say that, and I've said that in the past, but going through this and building your whole system in code, and you end up with something that just works. And if the things, no, that's what I forgot. Thank you, appreciate it. You end up with this, and this is working, and I can play with it and have some interactions. There are something that are broken because it's too deep in the system for the preview to work. But overall, like, your code is going to be much better. Maintained. No, I didn't forget about the barrel. I forgot to plug in the sound alerts again. I didn't hear shit. Oh. Oh, me and my fat ass. Oh. Thank you. How are you? Good. How's the day going? How was the weekend? Oh. 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 Come on, Aiden. You can do it. Thank you. Thank you. Good. Was checking if we didn't have like some redemption before that I missed. I didn't. We're good. Drink! Thank you. Now that works. So yeah, that's a thing. For me, Kane, that I don't. It is the reason why I haven't really practiced variables in Figma. It's mainly because it seems really good, and then for some reason, it's not that good. It's also a lot of systems that don't make sense. I think when they released Variable, we had like a full video about it, a full stream about it, explaining how it was shit and how the prototypes that we had and the options that we have like we know that we could add something that says on click, for example, it creates a specific action, and that specific action of, let's say it's a conditional thing, that if else, like if, I don't know, content, maybe text, maybe something says button, then do this action, change the background to red, I don't know. The creation of this in code for the prototype adds nothing. It adds complexity on the designer side, and it doesn't help the dev, because what the dev can see is not the, like, is not what the conditional that you have defined properly. Like, it also doesn't make any sense for the devs, because it doesn't, like, they don't have the variable the same way. Say it, it's a mess. I hate it. And I've been hating on it since they released it. So, yeah. I know the story is going to be happy when I'm saying it, when I'm about to say that, but it's more fun and it's easier for me to build the things in code right now than it is to build it in Figma, which is wild to me, because I still am way more knowledgeable in Figma, and I can still kick your ass in Figma. That's not an issue. But the output is going to be way simpler for me to say, well, here are my sizes, which basically result in different padding around my icons. Like most of my icons, like these ones are 24, these ones are 20, these ones are 20 as well. Then you have like a 20, and here you have a 20 as well. So it's just like, except the last one, the icons are the exact same sizes. And the font sizes is almost always the same. It's like small, and then we have base, and then we go back to one up, which is large. So it's just like 3 sizes. And creating this in code with the same amount of props would take me more time right now than I did in Figma, just because I know how to do it. But I would have the ability to just add one prop, as in the disable state that I talked about earlier, in basically a line somewhere, and say environment object is disabled, and it's an int, and that opacity is going to take the int, and that's it. And that is going to be faster to make in code than to make in here. That's it. So it's really sad. It also is something that I personally think that is very personal. God damn it. If I could say something less dumb, I would. With the amount of experience that I have in Figma and in Sketch and in Photoshop and in all of these tools, I might just be bored and too comfortable in these tools to grow and learn anything anymore. And most of the thing that I've learned outside, so in code and in general, like learning of other tools, the addition of the features inside of Figma, for example, or the auto layout in Sketch right now, that has been released in beta, that is in beta since last month. These things are not worth my time to master as I have mastered the rest of the tools, because I still think I can figure it out in about 15 minutes if I just take the the 15 minutes, but I don't need to. And it's faster for me to build something in like the Tailwind playground than it is to attempt to learn that. Like in the time it will take me to learn the Figma variables for prototypes, I would have a functional app in Cursor. Because nowadays it's just like one prompt away, and it's done. So I don't, yeah, it's really weird. The new tools and the new thing that are popping up right now are really, for designers at least, seemingly good, but when you use them, it's not that good. So I don't know. I am debating things. There is a lot of other things, as in Paper is around the corner. Paper is the potential concurrent to Figma. I have doubts. It looks cool, but yeah. A cursor tutorial, it is the easiest thing in the world. I mean, I can give you a cursor tutorial. It's really simple. Let me, can I do that? I have doubts now. I have doubts. I don't know if it's closed, if it's reopened this thing. Yes, it does. God damn it. If I do, let's do tutorial, right? Tutorial is going to be fine. You arrive on cursor. You end up here. You have your files in the, I mean, depending on how you have VS Code organized, but nonetheless, it's going to be very similar. Can I zoom in? I can't zoom in. I can't zoom in. Cool. You have your chat here. Your chat is bound to modes. You have the agent mode, the ask mode, or the manual mode. Chat kind of disappeared, but chat is basically ask. It's kind of the same thing. Agent is going to act for you and do things for you. Ask is going to answer to your question or give you answer to your questions based on the code base and the content in here. You select your model. If you are in the free tier, you will probably not necessarily have access to the thinking, and therefore just get like the regular things. Claude 3.5 is going to be the best in free tier, but that's about it, right? And then you type whatever you want. So here, let's say I want to, I want to create a collection of web UI component, you know, for no reason, using ShadCN and Tailwind. Can you build a page with buttons, badges, and so on? And then when you're done typing what you want, you do this magical thing. I'm gonna zoom in, but you can see that. You see that key right there? You press it, and that's it. And you're done. And it's just gonna ask you to, like, what do you want to do? Like, they will create a new Next.js currently app. If this is a prop that works with npx, you can run the command. It's run the command insert create the whole thing. Right here I need to say yes. I said yes. And then be good. Maybe there is an issue, maybe there is no issues, and it's just going to work with it. it will. It's supposed to install whatever it needs to install, um, to make sure that things are there. But god damn it! You still see the screen? You still see the screen? Or is it dead? Still see the screen. It does its thing, and you kind of good. I want this thing in slate. That's usually my color. I want to force the thing, and then I have other things to install. Blah 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 blah. I don't really give a shit what it tells me. It's the init, so far, I'm kind of fine with that. It will create my page.tsx file initial, which is okay. And when that is done, move on to the next file and so on and so forth. So there is probably like a need for me to do like an npx install Tailwind and an npx install something else to basically have it running. But yeah, like I mean, Cursor is that simple, at least from my point of view. And right now, for example, I'm missing like a ton of things. The dev script doesn't exist because we don't have the npm install that we have done, and I can just add that to the chat. Just send the error, like with the thing, because we don't have any package.json, we don't have any install that happened basically on this whole thing. It needs to install, it needs to initialize, which right now I'm not doing. I should have done. I know what I need to do, but it doesn't really matter, right? Like all that thing is supposed to have happened. And yeah. But it's not necessarily going to work, mainly because it's not doing what it's supposed to do in terms of npm install, which is what is supposed to happen. And then so yeah. Yes, I did. The entire thing has been built with a combination of Cursor and Tray and Windsurf, which are all of the AI assistant that I have. I'm only paying for Cursor. Tray is free. So if you are interested in getting Claude 3.7 for free, use Tray. It's going to be much better because, again, free, really good. We really like free stuff around here. So that. But yeah, the entire app has been built with that. It's hundreds, if not more, if not thousands of different chats and different asks that I've done on different models. Like for example, right now I have, I'm waiting for Trey to just boot up again. That takes over. Inside of here, you can see that I have a ton of things that are related to the fact that my fetch record zone is or was deprecated in iOS 15, and we're currently on iOS 18. Therefore, most of these things, these protocols for CloudKit Sync, are outdated. They are still working, but they are outdated. So I need to use the like newer version, which is recommended inside of this block of recommendation. The thing is, every time that I try to write this instead, it doesn't work because it's not just that. For fixing these errors, Claude is not the best. Oh, that's new. Um, ha! Sorry. That's good. Um, uh-huh. So I can create an agent now. God damn. There is an MCP server inside of Tray. Sorry, I'm fangirling all over these. That's good. That means so much. If you haven't heard and if you don't know what an MCP server is, you basically have the ability to connect with another tool, including Figma, for example, to go from Tray directly from the code to your Figma file to other apps. So that is impressive. Uh, I mean, again, this bitch is free. So you stray. 4.1 is new, which is the latest version of ChatGPT, which is impressive that they have it already. And Gemini 2.5 Pro is also available. These things, again, these things are free. I'm blown away by the fact that Trey has all of these things um, like for free. Like I, 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 I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand why it's free. Um, like it makes no sense. Um, Tray has been built by ByteDance. ByteDance is the parent company of TikTok, which is a Chinese company, and therefore their whole thing is uh, well, owned by ByteDance in the background. Cursor is a startup that is US based, as far as I remember, and all the things are US based. The main difference that I'm seeing in between the two is that the Cursor is, for me, $40 a month. Tray is free. Big balance. And the UI is very similar. I mean, as you can see, like this is Tray, where you have your agent tray around here, your code in the center, and your folders on the side. And then this is Cursor, where you have your folders and things on the side, your code in the center, and your chat on the right side. So they are really much the same thing. This is much better design. Tray is way more nicer to use. Has so much things, so much small details that makes a big difference. But yeah, design is not really handled here. Like design is handled, for me at least. I'm making sure that I'm making the difference, the changes in here. So, for example, if I had like my CloudKit detail view, I doubt it will load. We've been having a bit of an issue with the preview to load the preview and have that here. It works there, but not here. Nonetheless, the design is going to be here because it's faster for me to go through the code that is around here directly in Xcode than anything else. Is it gonna work? It's gonna work. It's working. Sorry. So, for example, here, if I knew apparently that these two icons needed to be something else, I would be able to go in there, find the right icon that I need to change, and then change that from here because it just makes more sense. Also, because from here I have access to the symbols and directly check which one, what's the name, what I need to use from here is way easier from Xcode directly. But yeah, most of the the design choices that I'm making are going to be made inside of Xcode directly because I have the preview, and anything that is going to be functionality based is going to happen on Tray or Cursor just because it is faster because I don't need a thing. And yeah. So yeah. Also, CyberSect probably there. I think the training on like, I mean, I don't think ByteDance would be training an AI for Tray specifically. The main reason why I'm saying this is because they have access to DeepSeek, which is the Chinese version of ChatGPT, and DeepSeek is free. Tray is free as well, and they probably have at some point done something that gathered the AI models that they are using and having on the platform, and that runs on their servers rather than running on something else. But again, I don't know. Like, Cursor has tried to get Cursor small and Cursor fast, I think, which are their own tailored AI models for code. But I don't know how that works. I don't know if it works. I don't know if it's good. I don't know. I don't know much. But yeah, like that's the thing. And then I'm also using Augment on the other side. So sometimes I have Augment that is giving me like some recommendations inside of the file itself, and I'm doing things in the chain of Claude and Augment, not at the same time, but kind of at the same time. So that's interesting. Basically, the thing that happens is that Augment has the ability to get a better context window, like a greater context window than what Claude has from here, and that helps to get like a bit of an overview. But yeah, other than that, not much. But yes, it is overwhelming. I do agree with that. There is so much that happens. The fact that right now, if you are a designer and you have a Figma file, and instead of doing like a figma.com something, you do bolt.new slash figma.com, for example. I think that's the thing. You basically will convert the design or the prototype that you have in Figma inside of Bolt directly. I think last week there is something that came out that is called Chef from Convex, that is an AI for backends. Don't know enough about it to talk about it, but it seems pretty impressive. Like for mini apps and thing that needs to rely on the backends. So yeah. CyberSec, that is kind of nuts that they haven't responded. You could try again. How long has it been? I remember that Dapshi has took like a month, I think, to be approved. I forgot how long it was, but it was kind of long. So maybe that's the same thing. I don't know. But yeah, like there is so many new AI tool to help you work. There is so much new stuff. How long did it take you to get approved on the Apple things? They had a bug. That may be the same thing, CyberSect. You might just try again, do an account again. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, Kane, if you just want like a not a tutorial, but like an understanding of how things work, I would recommend you to use Tray because it's free and it's accessible and it will give you a bit of a hint of um like how things could work. Try to build something that is making sense to you. Like, I don't want to say like the regular stuff, but maybe um build a to-do app, like a note-taking app or something like very, very simple. Um, Again, trace free, so you will have the ability to go further with the free model. Cursor Spade, Windsurfer Spade. There is probably others that are going to pop out in the world to help other people like get access to an IDE that is aided with AI. But all of these things, all of the IDEs and code editor that exist currently that have or are paired with AI improvement are using Claude, and sometimes they use Claude. So you should be as soon as you understand how Claude from Anthropic is working and how to direct it in a way that makes more sense, you should be good into potentially taking your designs that you have and build something with it. Some of them take, or I mean, Claude take images, understanding. So if you send them an image or send a chat, um, yeah, maybe they should add Claude. That's true. That is true. Probably in the next update, probably. Um, but you can send an image in the chat and say, well, I need this thing to look like this. It's currently looking like this. I need this instead. Um, that's an option. You can also have, like, again, specific models have specific use cases. I know that Google released a big ass block of text explaining how you should prompt. I haven't read it because it seems like a normal thing for me, but if you need it, like it's a uh, I don't know if it's this one, but maybe it is. I don't know. Again, have no clue. Um, yeah, it might be. It might be. This is Grow with Google, which is pretty free as far as I remember. Give you a good understanding of how things work. However, this is like a prompting essential, which I'm guessing if you've been on the internet for the past 2 years, and you've used some AI stuff, you kind of understand, but there is like a bit more understanding and details in there. There is, again, um, it might be this one. There is like a big ass PDF. The thing that is pissing me off is that I see how it looks. I have seen the cover of the thing, and it's not there. But I'm gonna share this as well. We never know. We never know. Maybe that's good. I don't know. Um, is it this one? It might be this one. Uh, yeah, they just said that they release something and then they don't give you the link, bitch. That yes. Um, yeah, that seems like that's that. I mean, I kind of remember this, so that's kind. I don't like that it's on this site though, because it's something from Google. Um, but maybe, you know. Um, let me take a look at it. Let me take a look at it. Nonetheless, these things might be good overall to get like a bit of a better understanding. I think I should have said that. 1 second. Can I do that here? I can't do that here. That's crazy. Uh, that's gonna be so much cleaner than the previous thing. Stony, I don't think you can do that. Can I do that? Yeah, I wanted to delete that fucking file. I can't. I can only delete messages for other people. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, that might be interesting for you to take a look at, understand what it does, what it is, how they explain it. It's a long ass thing, but might be useful. Might be useful. Um, you can clear the chat, but it doesn't really. It's not good. Don't clear the chat. That's what I'm saying. I can clear the chat as well. It's like my message specifically, I can't delete because all over the channel, all name. The sad truth. And you said what? You said, does this slick brain like to be triggered? So, I think I have one single point here that I don't like, and it's the hanging punctuations. You may have seen that before, but this is cleaner than what you have when the A goes back to your line with this. I forgot how it is done in CSS. But if you can find the option to get hanging punctuation, I feel like this is going to be much better. But yeah, small detail, could work, blah, blah, blah. Like, I forgot if this is like a detail. Yeah. Interesting. I guess Figma has the thing by default, which is debatable. Anyways, that detail might be better to get like an easier reading experience. Not that I would read that, but you know. And then on top of this, I would say the width of the columns is a tad big. So for the text specifically, so I would keep the same width for my container, but have like more padding, so something like 40 instead of 24, or if it's like currently at 32, 48, like a tad more to condense the text in the center and have roughly 7 to 12 words per line. Currently, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which is, um, Could be better if you put it like at 2 rems with like 32, just to do that. Depends on how the ending punctuation works as well. So if it, I mean, with what Chris has sent with the list style outside, you would basically end up with text aligned, like the about aligned with the these, and the dot being around here outside. So that might mean you would need something a bit more wide overall in terms of spacing. But yeah. I don't know if Stoney has written right this whole thing himself. I don't know. I know I didn't for mine. I proofread or proofread the content because it made sense. I have a sad news for you, Stoney, which, I mean, you might know that already, and you might have that planned, but in terms of legality, there is a need or requirement to get the company address, physical address, and the full name of the owner of the company or the representative of the company, full legal name, inside of the terms of services and privacy policy. This is something that is required. So you might need to add that in there, which kind of goes against you and your privacy stuff. But that's the thing. That is the thing. That might need to happen. Just say. God, they. Oh, it is time. It's crazy. So yeah, that's why again. Sorry, I didn't notice this. The Android app for Twitch is dead again. Dead. No chat. I mean that's good because I'm not really looking at the chat on this side, but god damn, is it one day going to be okay and static and good? But yeah, going back to the discussion before, Kane, any project that you will build with AI is going to be helping you to kind of understand how things work. If you want to go from your Figma file to something, you can use Lovable or Bolt. These two are pretty good at transferring content and understanding like a Figma file. If you want to go from an ID to something that is visually working, V0 is going to work as well. And if you want to build everything yourself, Cursor is going to be the best option right now. The only thing that I would give you, I know you have more knowledge than me in terms of code, so that's really good so far. But from my experience, and I kind of talked about that on Clarkio streams on Friday. At some point in my life, I wanted to learn code. I failed. I gave up. I tried again, I failed, I gave up again, I tried again, I didn't really fail, but it wasn't really good. And then now I don't want to learn anymore. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like the power that I have in knowing how to build a product through just text by my experience and knowledge of design and how to build products, just being able to communicate with text, which I hate text, but still, and build something and have the code made and done for me without me having to do anything, removed my want to learn how to code entirely. Like there is no need anymore for my level of understanding to be greater than what it is, and as of right now. And so if you still are interested in learning how to code, do not, I repeat, do not use AI to generate files. Simply use AI to help you find what is the syntax that you need to have for something that you're trying to do, but not, I need this file done, and it does the file for you. Because if you do that, you end up like me, which is really bad, where I don't have any knowledge. I'm hoping and trusting that the edit that the AI has done is good and not breaking, and I'm entirely trusting it for the entire project, which happened many times that I asked for something specific. It touched 6 files. 5 of them were not really related to the initial project thing that I wanted to edit in that app, and that broke a whole system, and I didn't pay attention to that. And the only time that I figured out that there was something that wasn't working is when I did a full app test before releasing a version. And I was like, the thing, like, that worked last month doesn't work anymore. And now I need to fix the whole thing again because I didn't pay attention enough. So I can't recommend it enough for someone that is just wanting to have something working in no time. But also, I can not recommend it as much as I can so that you don't end up in the same situation as me. That is really bad. And Lord Traveler, welcome back. How are you? How have you been? So yeah, so that's my recommendation for using AI for generating codes and things. It's really good at generating things. The thing that is right now buggy is going to be fixed by future AI, like the latest version of ChatGPT is better than Claude for some code. The latest version of Claude that is coming later this year or next year is going to be better than the one that they have today, and so on. So the bugs that we have today are going to be fixed and patched on the next update, so that makes sense. But yeah. I mean, again, the thing that I was explaining and the thing that I have now, right? Right here. That system here, which right now has a bit of an issue in syncing, which makes absolutely no sense. Is supposed to be so simple, right? I have data on my phone. It's supposed to send the data to iCloud, and then I have data on iCloud, and it's supposed to fetch the data on iCloud and put it on my phone. It's a very, very basic push-pull system. I've been on it for the past 2 weeks now. That makes no sense. It's supposed to be that simple. It's supposed to simply be that data has changed, push it to the cloud, and then on the cloud, there is a timestamp for when it has been updated. And then if the one on device number 2 is telling me this timestamp that I have is older than the timestamp that is on the cloud, you pull from the cloud. It is that simple. In my head, it is that simple. It should be that simple. Weirdly enough, it's not. So that thing works now, which is good, but also, not that good. I mean, kind of that good, but not that good. So yeah. Again, I still build this whole thing. This whole thing has been built entirely with AI, and it's working on multiple platforms, and that's fine. But it's not good. It could be much better. And the cleaning fee that Story is mentioning is absolutely necessary. Like that's yeah. This is, I mean, Chris, this is like Swift UI. You don't do that either. You don't do that. But that's something that I've been like contemplating, basically, of saying I'm gonna hire someone that has the knowledge to just have a chat with them, like someone that is extremely experienced in Swift UI and data management through Swift UI and all that. Then we just have a 3-hour call where I explain my situation, they explain how they see the thing working, and the discussion that we would have would probably, if not certainly, unlock something on my side of understanding that I currently don't have. But, you know, that's something I'm thinking about later. Right now, sync, not working. But yeah, the could recommend, could not recommend at the same time. It's really annoying. Really annoying. Oh, goddamn. I'm dying. So yeah, Trey's good. I'm not saying teaching me Swift UI in 3 hours. I'm saying having a chat about what I currently understand of Swift UI and what I have currently done, and just have a discussion about how they would basically create the app on, like, with their own thinking, because they have more knowledge than me. That's the thing. And also, yes, no offense taken. Controllers are fine. I think the um no, you're kind of right. You're kind of right on that. Um, it could be like a very deep uh, concept thing. Um, But yeah. Let me show you in a second. Um, so yeah, it could be a very, very, very complex project or concept in SwiftUI that I really don't have an understanding of, which is, absolutely understandable. But yeah, it could. Could. If your n is this, which is like an outlined element, you can add a stroke with the same color, and that's the option. If you have your element to be like this, and it's like an inside element that is a reversed version, you just need to do this basically to make it thicker. That's option number 2. If your shape is this, with a stroke like that, and you want to make it how can I say that? Just inside, you need this to be a square. So you basically need to have like a square, and you decide that this is like a 0 at the bottom. And with that, you have the ability to just say, well, this is now 18 on all fronts except the bottom. It's thicker in the center. If, again, this is an outline shape, so that's the shape that you have, what you need is taking this point right there, moving it in or out. Same thing on the other side, in or out. Same thing here to ensure that you have the same amount of space around it. But yeah, you don't need to, but it works, maybe. If it's like outline like this. If it was like this. Yeah. Like if that was your thing and you needed to move that inside by like 1, that works, but then my arch is wrong. So I need to change that value here to make sure that it's aligned with probably like a half a point and half a point here, based on the fact that we have changed the thing. Yes, of course. Of course. What do you need? But yeah, that's basically it. I think you shouldn't I don't think you should eyeball it, and I don't think you should mathematically do something. I think you should probably create a new shape. So if your goal is to do this and you just want to have like the system a bit better, like that, for example, the way that it works. It is a very simple line that is outlined, like it's a center point value thing, and it has a union that it has been added to its prior, and therefore you can just take that line, make it thicker, slimmer. So right now, let's say I need it to be thicker in the inside. That's your goal. You make it like 17, it will grow all the way, but because you have made it slimmer overall, it ends up being the same width as before. Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's not that much work, but it is a lot of work, yes. You could do that. That's a that. Let me see. I'm gonna check something. I don't think it works, but we never know. These are 19, 19, 19. If you do this and you create like a single shape, and then you round the entire shit out of it, and then you take these two shapes there, let's do 4 instead. Same thing here. That'll give me the same shape that we have. And if you wanted this to be thicker in the inside, you take that shape, you move it 1 pixel in, you take that shape, make it 1 pixel wider, and move it 1 pixel in, take that shape, 1 pixel wider. That would mean that you can basically change things with a greater level of granularity, but it's not as good. You can see, I mean, you can probably see that on stream. It looks kind of weird around here. The connection in between the two is weird. So, debatable. Compared to this one, it's similar, but it's still has a bit of an issue. This is because of how rages work. That's all I can say. Best option is really, really much getting just that outline thing that makes a lot of sense. Again, the initial thing that I gave you, let's bring back the stroke and put it like center or outside, whatever. Let's put it outside. If it's a stroke of 1 and you want it to be inside and you don't want to change the outside section, this basically means, because we have 1 point down, we need to move the whole thing 1 point up, which basically implies that because the top is now 2 point up because of that, we kind of miss the overshoot. So it's just 1 point down, 2 point, like basically 2 point downs, make it shorter. So it's the same height as before. And because we don't want it wider, but like thicker, 1, 2, and 1 point inside. So it's just a matter of math. You should be good at that. Subtracting what you've added on the outside for the full width, and subtracting what you added on the top and bottom to the full height. And that way that will create the thicker in the inside view. But yeah, I don't think you are. I don't think you are. No, because you're a dev, bitch. That's the reason. That's the reason. Let me read that. Add an ID for workflow. Make my own design that would look like this or this. I see. Then buy a design system like this and repaint it to match my design. This or that or that. Oh, that's really sad. So you want to create a design like this, and you were thinking about buying like a 123 done design system thing. Have you considered
Mom?
that? Uh, just the free version. Or the paid version, you know? I don't think this is a good idea. I don't think Mom is going to be a good idea for the design that you want to create. If you want to create this, specifically this, Mom is not the good option because the style doesn't match, right? That's straight up. You can give me money, you know, I'm good with it. But the style is more rounded and the style is a bit more luxury based, I would say. And title is going to be the same thing. Align UI is going to be the same thing. I think your best potential best option here is going to this small thing on the community. They changed the icon. They changed the icon. They changed that. That's new. Sorry. Designer eyes. And you take a look at this small company, which is called Apple. You might have heard of them. Pretty good. Like, if I could here, and then you just take a look at a specific UI kit, which is the Vision OS 2 UI kit. This will probably have a bit more of a similar design from what they have. It's free and it's available. So that's a thing. Yes, you can change the radius variables in a UI kit, but it's just not necessarily good. So going back to your initial question of, am I crazy to repaint something? No, repainting is a good idea. Repainting is something that I've done in the past as well. It works. It's just going to take you a lot of time. Whereas if you find a UI kit and a design system that already exists that has the style that is similar to what you are trying to achieve. So let's say you just want to check one of these as references. Most of these are going to be available in Fig. Most of them, not all of them, but most of them, because they are the open design systems. Just check them out. You open them, you see if it works for you. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If it does, it does. But let's say you like Apron, never heard of it. I don't know, it's new. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it looks good, maybe it doesn't look good. I don't know. And interesting. That is very Japanese of you. That's good to know. I clicked on the only Japanese one that there is, apparently. Nonetheless, right? You find one that seems to be more aligned with what you want to do. And if it works, you use that instead. In the open design system, you will have like a ton of them that will have um, free access, and it is going to be easier for you to just navigate that. Otherwise, you end up with so much work to do. I think the Moon UI kit was pretty good as far as I remember. It really has a ton of components in them. It might be Square. 1 second. Yes, it's the same, but it's really good. The Moon UI kit is really good as well. Um, they have a ton of things that kind of works. They do have a, an organization system that is not necessarily good for my taste, but it is complete. So if you need whatever, they will probably have something in there that is having what you need. That's good to know. That's dead. Good to know as well. But yeah, look at these. They might be good. The Spotify one is pretty good. Weirdly enough, the French convertment one is pretty good. I hate it. I hate that it's good, but it's pretty good. And I think Uber has a bit of a more rounded, friendly design system, so you could use that as well. Like I think the Uber Eats section is more rounded than the Uber regular delivery thing. But whatever. This is closer to what you are trying to achieve. Nonetheless, doesn't really change anything in the fact that restyling a design system is not a bad idea. But the overall content is what's the most important. Based on your question, kinda, not question, but kinda question, right? You said I had an idea for a workflow, make my own design that would look like this, and then buy a design system and repaint it to match the design. So personally, still, I think that this is good, but you will find like a UI kit that already exists that has like similar components. But I don't see anything in there that is really groundbreaking or to them, if that makes any sense. So what in this view do you like specifically? What is your design inspiration that made you think, oh yeah, it would be good to recreate something similar to this? Also, that placement is weird. Is it just like the minimalism? Yeah, I see. And what would be the project? Chris, that is kinky. Uh, I don't know who Vanilla is. I don't know if that's your wife's name, but Uh, yeah. Nonetheless, Hello is really good. Dashboard for finance, web app, crypto, stock. I may have a better option then. Um, because again, if your goal is to get like a finance web app, stock related stuff in the open design system, you may have already one of these that is already a finance based company. And you can use that to get access to things that would, like this one, for example, seems to be, right? Revenue stack, content, IDs, icons. I mean, there is not really much in there, but that is already an option. So that's my main point. In these, God damn it, in these design systems that already exist, there will probably be companies that have finances in their name. But the best option that I would have, if you are willing, if it's for a client and the client is willing to pay you, or you're willing to just uh, get, like, you paid for yourself, and or you pay for it yourself, god damn it, in order, and then you get everything you need. There is this tiny company called UI8 that I like a lot. If you're looking for, oh, there is a new thing. If you're looking for a UI kit or template or something, and it is supposed to be a dashboard for something that is finance related, and you want this in Figma file, you want this in coded stuff, you want this in something else, and go in there, find something that is to your taste, and be done with it. If it's just a broader dashboard, you just want a dashboard, there is like plenty of these for $40, $50. Some of them are like $90, but god damn it. The Core 2 is really good, but it's also very expensive. But it has like a ton of design that I would say would be closer to the design that you want to have. Overall, right? Kind of. This one is $88. So $88 for a UI kit is kind of expensive. This one specifically is coded, as far as I remember. So, eh, you know, debatable. Yeah, 88 is really, it's just for UI8. It is a bit expensive. But yeah, Core 2 is really good. Mom is 80, just 80. And it doesn't have the code. Yeah. But yeah, like, this is pretty good. I mean, personally speaking, I love these ones. I think it works. I think it's a good overall output, and the designer that is working on it is really good as well. So I do like this. I'm biased on this. It looks like what you have in mind in terms of design itself, and it's not that expensive. It's specifically what I would say or kind of like about it is the fact that this is, you have the Figma file, but you also have the entire thing built in React. So if you wanted the thing to be coded as the output, then the components, as long as you don't modify them too much, if you give the design to the dev that will work on it later, and you give them the code file as well, well, they have the entire thing kind of already done. That's pretty good. But details. But that's not free, right? So going back here, there might be something, as I said, that is um, aligned with what you're trying to achieve, the goal that you have. Um, is this Goldman Sachs? Yes, it is. Uh, maybe, maybe. But yeah, I know, nonetheless. Um, yeah, I mean, personally speaking, I think Core 2.0 is pretty good. It also has like some updates, and they have done, again, others in the past, in dashboard specifically, and you will probably find something in there that is more aligned with what you're trying to build or not. I don't know. But they have like a ton of options. That's what I'm saying. And these are pre-made, pre-built templates that, I mean, in my eyes, um, that would be the easiest thing because you don't need to think too much. And then restyling this is easier, but it's also based on the fact that, let's say I'm going to use my regular thing, a dating app, because I have a client that is building a new dating app like everyone else. And they want the thing to be friendly, but not too woman based. They want the thing to be not like a duplicate of Bumble, but they still want the thing that is similar to Tinder, so that it feels familiar. And you're like, this looks interesting. This is $24, and I can just buy that, get it, and then just tweak some of the things here and there to get like the design a bit more aligned with what I want, what my clients want, and that's it. And maybe add like more 3 to 4 files or like screens that needs to happen. But that's about it. So that's an option. I for me. So Core 2.0 is really good to me. And do you have uh do you have a shadow with um, a blur effect? Only a stroke. That's crazy. We have a ton of Figma glitch screenshot on one file from Gleb somewhere, which is pretty interesting. But I think that's the first time I'm seeing this. It's interesting. Um, Philosophically, 99% of UI consists of the same elements: navigation, heroes, forms, button, window card, and so on. Maybe 100 total is a bit more, but yes. I see UI kits in 2 separate layers: aesthetic, font colors, rounding, icons, all that, and functionalities, state and viable. Yes, would say, I would say buying a UI kit might not like give you the functionality, as in state would be there, but variables might not be there, depending on how new the thing is. Like for example, this one is kind of old by now, and it probably doesn't really have um, the viable modes, probably, but don't know. If you want to go over uh, what needs to happen, what needs to be in there, the design system checklist um, is a good thing to have, or at least for you to check and take a look at, you know, that. So this is a whole thing for what a design system is. And it contains the design language, the foundation, the core components, the maintenance stuff that you need to do. The core components is 166 components. Your accordion has multiple things, and you can scroll through that and say, well, in the design system that I currently have the avatar that has the image. I also have the avatar sizes. I don't have a fallback image just yet, so I need to create this. This is a very good website to help you go through the entire thing that you need, specifically for components and for foundation, which, as you said, aesthetic, colors, layouts, and typography kind of be your base. Most of these exist and are available. Like, again, this one has a free version, which is working, contains most of the things. And the others that we have and we kind of recommend, as in Entitled, which we kind of like as well. You probably heard about it. They have a free version or light version, I think. Let me see the pricing. Yeah, they have a free version that contains like most of the foundations. You can start with that. It's really good. You have the Pro Solo, which is the one that I have, which is pretty good as well. And you know, like all of that is good. um, but yeah, like um, I would say Untitled is one of the most complete one, but it is also one of the most both one. So it has no more personality, which is really sad. Um, like if you get it, you are basically guaranteed that you have something that is really good and will work and have mostly no issues. Um, but you also have something that is basically the same thing as everyone else. So the most used, yeah, the most no personality, no like it looks like any startup from 2024. Like if I go into here and you go through these things, you probably have seen a website that already looks like this. One of these somewhere on Dribble, or basically going into a startup website and seeing this. Another one that is really similar is Align UI. Similar in terms of completeness, but it is also a tad expensive. But right now they are building it in code, which is pretty interesting. So, you know. Um, I think the Figma file itself is the same as Untitled, like $1 less, just because, you know. And then the startup version, which has basically access to the code, I think is a bit better. But components is what they have created, which is interesting, similar to like Tailwind-ish. Yeah. The thing is, Tailwind Plus doesn't really have updated Figma files. It's sad. And yes, Lone Travelers, yes, they are reasonably easy to restart. Let me show you. The basics, I'm going to use some of the latest version that I have of Title or Line UI or whatever. I have 4.0. I think now we have a title UI 5 or 6. I'm late. Late, but late. This is heavy. Yeah, 7, right? Um, it's it's been a while. Let's say I like the colors, right? But I want my main color, this one, the brand color, to be something different. Because maybe your brand is not purple. The only thing that you need to do is go into the color styles here to check if this is like a color or viable. Right now, I can see that this is viable. So I just need to go in there, go into my primitives, and check my brand color around here and say, well, this is not going to be my purple. It's going to be something else. So let's say I'm taking my HSL because I can do that. And I'm just switching this from 262 to um, something that is not breaking to 160. Let's say 160 is going to be fine. Cool. So I'm just going to go through that, do 160 instead of 260 on all of these. It's not going to be good. And also it's going to take a bit of a while in the background to work. I can see Figma struggle. One day Figma is going to just work. I have doubts. Come on. We can do that. No, this is not a thing that is reliant on my computer. Sadly, this is just Figma being bottlenecked by itself, as the dumb bitch that they are. Oh no, it's not a RAM thing because basically the RAM is limited to 2 gigs of use. Figma files are limited to 2 gigs because they are supposed to work on Chrome, and Chrome is 2 gigs max per website. So, not a sadly for me, not a setup thing. One more and we good. So, then this is my brand color, which has changed from purple to green. Now that I have done that, and that my variables are restyling themselves and having a bit of a hard time to restyle themselves properly, some of these things don't work, right? The accessibility, contrast ratio, all of that, the color that is supposed to be written here is not the same color that is there, all that. Details. That now has impacted everything else. So because I changed this, if I go into my buttons, which are supposed to be purple, they are now this green. So most of the things have changed. There is a ton of stuff that haven't changed, as in the drop shadow that is supposed to be used for the components themselves, and plenty of other things that basically requires you to go back in and check every single component and re-edit everything. Because the file of Untitled UI is such a massive file with so many like section to preview, so many templates for 4 pages or like navigation stuff, like all of that. It is gonna require a lot more work for you to go through all of that and like ensure that everything is up to date and everything is good. So Untitled is great. It has a very, very good thing. Untitled free version, the light version, um, will give you the foundation and a hint of what you can access with the paid version. But it will give you the foundation that you kind of need. If you just want something that is more like simple, something like the Apple Vision Pro UI kit is going to be pretty good because it's simple and it matches what you currently have. Core 2.0 that I shared earlier from UI 8 is similar. You will have less things to it. It's because the design is really close to what you have sent in here. Not this one, but like kind of these. Because it's similar, so less edits. So I'm gonna check 1 second. Holy shit. But yeah, other than that, I would say, from my point of view, um, the easiest way for you would be to get something like a UI kit, um, like Core 2, and or simply take one of the existing design systems that are open design system that matches. So if you had like something like the Adobe design system, which is really, really heavy, but it's also rounded and good. Um, you know, I mean, you need to do the B and the G a bit thinner as well. Or, as I said in the beginning, you can just have Oink being like a different font sizes, as in more medium instead of regular, or instead of bold and big being bold. That's an option. But yeah, like that's the thing. I think you messed it up. I think that's bad. That's not rounded properly. Like it's flat. It's not round. That's messed up. I mean, technically, I'm looking at it now, and it's kind of flat as well. So I think the changes is that it takes that kind of flat thing here to repeat it there, but that's half the time, which is really weird. Appreciate it. I'd, I mean, I forgot that's not the thing that I wanted to have. We've passed them a second ago. Cat, hi. I hope the nap was good. That's good. That's the thing that I just designed last week. The person that is creating and taking care of, like the UI8 thing. Sorry. Sorry. I still blocked. Cool. Um, I just forgot, obviously. Um, Survival. Hi, work on it. Um, how's you? I am now lost. Tran has been posting a ton about that specific things, and they have this UI.live, which I don't know. I don't know. Um, but yeah, that might be really interesting. Um, for me at least. And I like that logo a ton. So, that's the thing. It goes with what they have been posting about Core 2 or Core 2.0, which is really good as well. Biased, 100%. I can't deny that. It's just, I like what they do, and they do good work. So, maybe, maybe good, maybe good. Good job, Kate. Congrats. ASMR stream. Oh, that was weird. Oh, that was weird. Oh. Um, I remember this. I remember this. Basically breaking my whole... Yeah. My whole computer. Again. I guess Core is going to be cheaper nowadays. Uh, and Core 2 is going to be more expensive. But, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Um, 19k a month. 19k a month, god damn it. Ugh, these bitches. Anyways. So yeah, I mean, to me, that's the base thing. You take Core 2, if $100 is nothing, for you, and you're good with that. You take one UI kit for $100, and you should be good. I am going to say something that you didn't hear me say. If it exists on the internet somewhere, it exists on the other paid, it exists somewhere else for free. I don't know where, but if it exists somewhere for a paid currency on the internet, there is a version somewhere else for free. The Mom UI kit is available for free somewhere, for sure. For sure. I don't give a shit, personally speaking. But yeah. So, if you know where to look, you will find exactly what you are looking for. And that's good. I mean, I'm saying that almost every 5 streams starting. So yeah. So that's the thing. If you know what you're looking, you will probably find something. The other thing is, again, if $100 is good and you can charge the client for it, do that. It would be highly appreciated for the designer that have worked on the UI kits and the creation of the code for this thing. Much better. This UI kit specifically, the Core 2.0, is much more aligned with what you have shared, and the restyling of it would be easier to an extent to make it more accurate to what you're trying to achieve. That's my best recommendation for speed in terms of a new project, I would say. The only thing that I don't like about starting with a UI kit is that sometimes, often, sometimes, often, you end up spending more time repainting and restyling the current UI kit that you have bought to match exactly what you wanted. And the amount of work that goes in is simply 90% of if you started from scratch. The main difference being at the end of the UI kit restyling, you have, or if not, more components that you would need to have for the product that you are creating. If you start from scratch and you have a new design from scratch, you will only have what you really need for that project and nothing more. So with that in mind, it's a good thing. Maybe, I don't know. Ah. So yeah. No, that's not a thing. Stoney, that is not an option.
Drink!
Gothic, hi. Welcome back. It's almost a clippable moment. Almost a clippable. Zoom, it was good. I don't give a shit if the project is available for free somewhere. I'd rather it's not, but I can't really do anything about it. So, yeah. That's the thing. Chris, I don't know if you search that term, I'm sure you will find something else. For many reasons. A mom with many holes, like that amount. I mean, I told you already the free version is an option. Yes, you can do that for the free version if you want. That you already had to go for that, for the free tier of icons. So, you can do that. You need the paid version on your side, yes, but the free version is for the npm install, npx install things. Yes. Um, I don't think there is a good UI kit that would be a combined of website and mobile. Like they are, for sure, there are like some UI kit that are good to get like the both of the options, but yeah. Sony, I'm sure you can install like you can do an npm install mom and npm install mom dot premium. You know, dot premium give you the premium icons, not dot premium give you nothing, like just the free ones. The end goal, when I have time, Chris, the end goal was in the beginning to create a Tailwind-like Tailwind component package that would be accessible as well for anyone that has both the UI kit. So you have the Figma file, which contains most of the not most, like all the components in Figma, and then you can, or your dev can just install as well on their end and basically pull the components from whatever. And it would be something that is built through. I think Tailwind would be the easiest thing for me, specifically with like the newer version for 4.1 right now. It's pretty good. But that's the I don't have the time right now. I need to work on this bitch right there. I'm so close to making it work and being done with it and being able to publish this with the sync and then be able to move on to another project. Right now, I can't. I need to do that. I need to do that first. So you know. Yeah. How's the 5 months of work in 3 days going? You good on that? Very well. Is it like a sarcastic very well, or is it like a positive thing? Was it really like an uh exit interview, or was it like a we just need to have like a deadline for something? But also yes, like I'm so close. It's so close. Oh, they added more scope, so that's good. That is good. I didn't say you look 40. I said you took 15 years. That's a different thing. That is a different thing. Like if you look 12 and you take 15 years, you know. Yeah, but you know, brain stop in 2020 for me. Um, and like I'm still 26. That hasn't changed. Hasn't changed. Technically 31. But you know, details. Details. nonetheless. That's the thing. Yeah. I mean, I basically forgot that I aged. I've been saying that. In COVID time 2020, I was 26, I think. Um, it seems. I never know. And from there, because nothing happened, I didn't seem to age, personally speaking, like personal perception, didn't really age much. And and then I moved to Japan and I kind of took a year, so I was like 27, which was wrong because I already took like 3. And yeah, and then I don't know, it doesn't feel like much aging. However, right this instant, I'm an old man. I am tired. My back hurt. The 31 jump really much take a toll on me. So, yeah, still old. Still old. Also, the beard doesn't help. That is truth. That is pure truth. The beard doesn't help. Another thing that would, for sure. But yeah, God, there you go. Oh, I am so dead. Why do we have titties on Maine? That makes no sense. No sense. Yes. God damn. I mean, I am round. I have some, you know. I like cake. Therefore, I have some cheeks. That happens. That happens. Yeah. Oh. I do have a jawline, but it's not there much of the time. Long trouble, yes, please. Show me. I mean, if you want. If you want. That's not a link for you. Also, yes, that sounds out of context. Interesting. Um, oh, God damn. Oh, oh, I am so much dying. Well, that seems non-existent. Yeah. Oh, God damn. Oh, ah. Yeah. I do. I do see these.
You know, like when you're like,
God damn. Yeah. I mean, oh, oh. So if it's here, we have 3. If it's here, we have 2. If it's here, we have 3 again. They interesting to have just 3 on tablet when we have the space. And 3. Huh. I mean, yeah, the fees are not necessary, right? How much fees you paid or how much fees have been paid. Eh, it's pretty good. I mean, so far it's pretty neat. I kind of like it. Again, this is like a coded stuff. It might, if you have the ability to get like a bit of a change, you could. It would be really simple for you to change stuff, at least, you know. Easy stuff, easy fix, simple. Yeah. But again, like you have that, you know how to do it. You just add this in the code, and then you're done. You don't need to think about it. I like this concept. I like the concept. That is for sure. That is for sure. I am tired, therefore I am sending you to Nat. Because you know, I'm dead. As always, the VOD is gonna be on YouTube. If you have a question and reply, you can join the Discord. If you want access to the Figma Bootcamp files, you know, you can go on the Patreon, which is really good. And I shall be back on Wednesday. If all goes well, as always. If you want to learn Japanese, use CAD because it's good. And then, and you know,
Mom!
the usual. The usual. Yeah, Stony, I'm changing my sleep schedule. I'm waking up at 5:30. So I need to sleep. It happens. I might start the stream earlier. Soon. We'll see. We will see. Why is a good question. Yeah, Chris, good job. Alright. As always, eat something, drink something, be kind to each other, and I will see you next time. Bye.